Welcome back to the This Old Baker podcast. I'm Kim, and today I want to talk about something that can make cooking easier, less stressful, and honestly a whole lot more enjoyable. Your kitchen. Not your dream kitchen. Not the kitchen you see on social media. Not the giant farmhouse kitchen with endless cabinets and a butler's pantry. Your kitchen. The one you have right now, because one of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to organize their kitchen based on how someone else cooks instead of how they cook. When I was younger, I thought there was a right way to organize a kitchen. Plates go here, pots go there, spices belong somewhere else. And while there are certainly some common sense guidelines, the truth is your kitchen should work for you. Not the other way around. If you bake every week, your baking supplies should be easy to reach. If you make coffee every morning, everything for coffee should be in one convenient spot. If you cook from scratch often, your pantry staples should be front and center. You shouldn't have to climb on a chair, dig through 3 cabinets, and move a dozen things just to find your flour. One of the questions I ask people is, what do you cook most often? Because that's where your organization should begin. Not with pretty containers, not with matching baskets, not with labels. Those things are nice. But function comes first. Think about your daily routine. What do you reach for every single day? Coffee, tea, cooking oils, salt and pepper, mixing bowls, measuring cups. Those items deserve the best real estate in your kitchen. The things you use once a year, those can live on the top shelf. I also think it's important to stop organizing based on categories alone. Instead, organize based on tasks. Let me explain. If you bake often, create a baking zone. Keep flour, sugar, baking powder, baking soda, measuring cups, and mixing tools together. Everything you need for baking is already in one area. No hunting and no frustration, no wasted time. The same thing works for coffee stations, or smoothie stations, or grilling supplies, or pantry mix ingredients. Group together the things that work together. You'll be amazed how much easier meal prep becomes. Another thing I learned over the years is that visibility matters. If you can't see it, you probably won't use it. How many times have you found a can, a spice, or a package tucked in the back of a cabinet and thought, I forgot I even had that? We've all done it. That's why I like simple systems, clear containers, simple labels, nothing fancy, just enough to help me see what I have. Because food you can see is food you'll use. Food hidden in the back becomes food you forget. The pantry is another area where people tend to overcomplicate things. A good pantry doesn't have to look like something out of a magazine. It just needs to make sense for your family. At This Old Baker, I actually have several articles that walk through this in more detail. One is called How to Create a Kitchen Pantry That Works for You. Another is Organizing Your Kitchen Cabinets, a step-by-step guide. And if you're interested in building a pantry or emergency food storage, we also have Getting Started with Food Storage. You can find all of those articles at thisoldbaker.com. One thing I love about pantry organization is that it doesn't have to happen all at once. You don't need an entire weekend. You don't need a huge budget. Start with one shelf, one drawer, one cabinet. That's it. Small changes add up. Maybe today you organize your spices. Next week, you tackle the baking cabinet. The week after that, you straighten up the pantry. Before long, the entire kitchen feels easier to work in. I think sometimes we put pressure on ourselves to have everything perfect, but kitchens are working spaces. They're meant to be used. They're meant to get messy. They're meant to help us feed our families. Perfect isn't the goal. Functional is the goal. If your system works, then it's a good system, even if it doesn't look like anyone else's. I also want to mention something that took me years to learn. Convenience matters. Don't make things harder than they need to be. If you use your slow cooker every week, don't store it in the garage. If you use flour every few days, don't hide it on the highest shelf. If you make homemade pantry mixes regularly, keep those ingredients where they're easy to grab. Every extra step adds friction, and friction makes us less likely to cook from scratch. The easier you make cooking, the more likely you'll actually do it. And that's really the goal, making homemade meals simpler, making everyday cooking less stressful, making your kitchen work for your real life, not someone else's life, not a magazine, not a social media influencer, your life, your family, your routines. So if you've been feeling frustrated with your kitchen lately, take a fresh look at it. Ask yourself one simple question. Does this kitchen work for the way I actually cook? If the answer is no, start making small changes. Move things closer. Group items by task. Create zones. Make frequently used items easier to reach. Little improvements can make a huge difference. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me today. And if you'd like more kitchen organization tips, pantry ideas, homemade mixes, and old-fashioned kitchen wisdom, be sure to visit thisoldbaker.com. You'll find hundreds of recipes, helpful articles, and plenty of inspiration for making your kitchen work better for you. Until next time, happy cooking, and I'll see you back here soon.